Hey guys. So I kind of am enjoying this live YouTube videos. I did a talk last week and I'm not really sure what happened with the video, but it got deleted. So I kind of did a little bit of talk about happiness and how I've related it into my life and just trying to find positivity and kind of like the general notes of it. We might go over a little bit today, but kind of the general notes were, happiness is kind of like the, what do you call it? Like the oxygen mask that comes out down on the plane. So they always tell you when the oxygen mask comes down that you put it on yourself before you can help anybody else. And that's kind of like how I've kind of approached finding happiness in my life. Is I need to make myself happy first before I can make anybody else in my life happy. And it's changed my whole persona and changed my whole way of thinking, and it's brought along this whole positivity and openness and awareness, and it really has helped develop me into who I am. And I kind of feel like a lot of people don't know how to get to this point. Like I feel like I have a general calmness. I do have like bad moments, but I don't have bad days, and that is a huge thing. And I think as I progressively get better through my own mental health and such, that I feel like there's not even going to be bad moments anymore. There'll be things that come up in my life, but that I have the tools and the capacity to be able to deal and cope. And last one I was talking about how you as yourself, as you have your own business, like this is your business and you need to take care of this. This is how you perceive everybody else. Now I'll kind of get into some other little topics later, and I've been doing a lot of reading and I want to kind of show you the book that I've been reading. It is such a good book. So it's this book. It's called Wheels of Life. And even if you don't believe in chakras or, certain little areas, or you feel like this is too froofy for you, it does break it down into a way that it really does make sense. There's so many good kind of like perceptions in this book about how you need to be grounded, and it makes you understand like what grounding is and how to work through certain issues that may prevent you from feeling grounded. So kind of like what I guess maybe I'll talk about today is kind of like I feel like the first step of finding happiness. And it's a really hard step. It is probably the first hard step to finding happiness, and that's forgiveness. And it's not even just forgiveness of others, it's forgiveness of yourself. And it's really hard, and it's the hardest step, but it is the first step that you have to take in finding your own happiness. So how do you go about forgiving even someone who has done something to you? And I think that is the hardest thing to come to terms with. So if you think about what they have done to you, does what they did to you, is that a reflection of yourself, or is it a reflection of something or what they are capable of? And if it's something that you did, then you have to come to terms with what you did and what your role was, and learn to forgive yourself. Because if you don't forgive yourself, you feel guilty for it, which that's a negative thought. So how do you release that guilt? You have to understand what your role was. You have to understand what your position was in it, your role and your position, as well as what was your mindset at that time. Was it a different mindset and you are a different person now? Was there anything that you learned from that lesson that puts you forward into a better position in life? I mean, everything in our life helps us and gives us life lessons to move forward. So if you learned from that lesson, you need to be able to forgive yourself because it helped you aid to where you are today. If you're in a positive light and in a positive step forward, that was in the past. You need to release the past and let go of the guilt of something that happened, because your position is different than where it was 5 minutes ago. Then if it was somebody else that did something to you, you have to, it's going to take time. And then forgiveness does not come right away. It does not come overnight. It doesn't happen 5 minutes after you say it. You can tell somebody you forgive them, but until it happens in here, it's not a real word, which is hard to understand. But you can tell somebody, like, I forgive you, and you'll still hold on to anger, which is a negative aspect of things. So if you were to all of a sudden one day go, I understand, I forgive them, I let it go. You release all that energy that you were holding on to. I want to give you kind of an example. I had a situation that just happened a little while ago. Someone close to me had told me that they were upset with something that I did 4 years ago. And instead of releasing the anger about something that happened 4 years ago, or bring it up to me so that way the issue could be dealt with, the anger that they held on to 4 years ago just compiled day by day by day. And then as they watched me doing certain things in my life, compounded to the anger that they were feeling. And they had a hard time letting go of the anger even after I apologized. I apologized, and my only words was, I am so sorry. I can't even really give you a true apology because you've been living it for 4 years. I haven't lived that anger for 4 years. I don't know how to correctly apologize. So I want you to think about somebody else's position in life. If they did something to you, is it worth it to hold on to it? Is it worth it to have that hate just keep filling your heart when you could let go of something that fills you with so much hate? Release it and fill it with something else. Fill it with something that's positive and light. And if they are still angry, if you're still angry about something that they did, then would it help if you told them that you were angry about it? You have to think about what you need to do to pass through that forgiveness. And forgiveness, I'm telling you, it is the first step in finding your happiness. It's just a release. It's just all of a sudden you just go, you can breathe again. So I guess my practice and my little talk for you today is all about forgiveness and trying to find either if you need to forgive somebody else for something that they did and release it. And I guess a good practice for that would be write down the thing that you need to say to that person to forgive them, what they did, how it hurt you, and burn it. Write the letter and burn it. Release it. Let go of all that anger and the hate and move forward. If you need to forgive yourself, you need to write a letter to yourself. You need to find out what you are hurt by, who hurt you, what the situations were that hurt you. Write your letter to yourself and burn it. It is the best releasing thing, and then move forward from there. Don't carry on any more hate. Don't carry on any more negativity towards yourself. You need to let go and move forward. And anytime you have a negative thought, or you feel a little bit of guilt or remorse or anything about the situation or what has happened, you're going back to the past. So anytime you think about that after you've wrote the letter and you burn it, I want you to think before you even have that thought in your head. I want you to say to yourself, I wrote that on the piece of the paper. It's gone. Release it. It's okay to acknowledge the thought, but then understand that you have to acknowledge that the thought you already had was on the piece of paper that you burnt. It is gone. I don't know if you want to burn the paper. I don't know if you want to rip it up. I don't know if you want to just, throw it in the trash. Whatever you want to do, it's very important to release hate, anger, because those are all things that hold on to you and it doesn't give you forgiveness. So that's my little coffee talk this morning. And just have a great rest of your day. Think about all the things that you can feel with your heart once you forgive somebody and yourself. So have a great day, and I will see you